Alright, passion is fucking everything, right? That's what I realized today when I sat down and I did not stop thinking, working, typing, uh, kind of like researching and planning for like 4 hours straight. And I got ADHD, right? So when I get really like into something, I'm like all in, right? So that's an aspect of it. But what was different about today to every other one of the part, like every other day for the past 6 months, well, the difference was passion. Because I've been floating for about 6 months. I've been not lost, I've been grounded in who I am and my bigger picture direction for my life, but I've been too comfortable. And I haven't been throwing myself at life. I haven't been like chasing anything. I've been too I don't know if selfish is the right word, but just focused on the stuff that directly affects me today and now. And the people who are like directly in my life right now. And while I think that that's been good and I've had a productive and good 6 months and I've grown a lot, and honestly these past 6 months have contained some of the best moments of my life. Some real lows, some real highs, some great experiences, some awesome memories, some good times, right? And so I'm not for a second saying that these last 6 months are a waste, but they were just a different season. And honestly, like, God makes everything perfect for a season, right? There's one of my favorite Bible verses is, I think it's Ecclesiastes 4. And it's called like a season for everything, or a time for everything. And it's so true that like, if you keep trying to make the best choices you can and you keep trying to become the best version of yourself and always put your best foot forward, no season of your life is ever going to be like a waste. Because even if you technically did something wrong, or you know what I'm trying to say, it's like you'll still learn, you'll still grow, and it's almost like maybe things will reshuffle, but you're where you're supposed to be still. But I think the season I really need to step into now, because this year, bro, and I had a mentor say this to me right at the end of last year, and he said it a lot early this year. We're in April right now, right? So we're about 4 months into the year. Almost a third of the way through. That's crazy. That's actually blowing my mind to think about. But he said, bro, this is your season, this is your year of capitalization. And I didn't really know what he meant by that at first. I'll be honest. I was like, that seemed a little vague. It seemed a little like arrogant for, it felt cool and sort of hype and inspiring when he said it. But for me to say, yeah, this is my year of capitalization, felt a little like arrogant. I don't know. Just, it made me, But as this year's unfolded and I've been doing my best to make the best choices I could, bro, I've really seen that come to fruition. And I've really been trying in so many aspects to sort of really throw myself at life more than I ever have. And I've been very successful with that socially, in my relationship, in my faith, in my relationship with God. But the one thing I've been missing is a real calling and a real passion and a real sense of purpose. And holy shit, that's created a void, bro. Like, my heart has been fucking crying out for that this whole year. And that's why I'm saying that feeling of, not being lost, but maybe it is lost. But just, look, I've lacked direction. So much of my direction has actually come from my relationship. Because, like, genuinely, like, from the bottom of my heart, at least what I believe in this moment in my life and what I've believed for the past sort of year and a half even, is that my primary purpose on this earth is to be the greatest husband and father to have ever walked the planet, or to get as close to that as I possibly can. That might be super dramatic, but let me just like chill the fuck out a little bit. I really want to be a dad, and I really want to be like a great husband and have an amazing relationship and marriage, and for that to be like my main purpose and the biggest sort of aspect of my life, or at least the most important one. And so, yeah, my relationship being a big sense of direction and like, that's great and that's fine and that's very relevant to me and very authentic to me, but to be honest, bro, a man without a mission, I think it's very unlikely that a man without a mission, without a purpose, without a calling, without a passion is even physically able to be truly happy and fulfilled. Because I think as young men, we thrive so much on progress and growth. And so not having like a super clear like passion and project and objective to be working towards, well, hang on, I'm gonna bring it back to that, because I kind of have like macro, like sort of big picture, but in terms of I don't know, it's a little complicated. Let me just explain that. So my sort of big purpose for, I kind of set this about halfway through last year, but my big purpose, let's say, so I'm 17 now, I'm turning 18 in, 8 months. Am I retarded? Sorry, I can't count. In November, it's April now, I literally cannot do math. Not when I'm so focused on like words and speaking. That's my excuse anyway. I'm turning 18 in November, but basically the big purpose for the last sort of year and a half, and will be, you know, this 2 years of my life between say 16 and 18 years old, is basically, I just have it in my head of like, project kick myself out of home at 18. And that is morphed, you know, due to life circumstances and things that have happened with my partner and sort of that relationship. That's been project kick myself out of home and move to Spain solo at 18 years old, which is fucking awesome. And I'm actually, some things of like, God has really, bro, I feel so blessed because I've really seen God move things to really fall in place to start making that look like it's going to become a reality recently. But the point is, I've had that big macro sort of direction of like, okay, this chapter in this season of my life is me preparing myself to turn 18, graduate high school, and then just leave. Just cut the safety net, move across the world by myself, to go, you know, for a lot of reasons. I almost want to force like a grand adventure in my life and a big sort of like, whoa, that's a cool story and a cool journey, because I want to have stories to tell. If I'm going to be in the business of trying to uplift and inspire young men, then I better have a fucking inspiring story, and not just be all talk and have never walked it. You know, when I tell a young man, you know, I'm imagining myself 10 years from now, giving advice to someone who's my age and saying to them, you got to take risks, man. If I've never taken a big risk in my life, I'm a fucking idiot. I'm also a coward, and a hypocrite. So, well, yeah, hypocrite, inauthentic, whatever you want to call it. It's not ideal, is the point. So, wearing this shirt, like, okay, I love this shirt, but sitting down in particular, I might just have looked fucking ridiculous this entire video. But hey, that's all good. What am I saying? What was the last thing I said? Oh yeah. So that's one big reason, is that I need to force that growth. I want an adventure, bro. I don't want to, like, as just case in point, as fucking beautiful as my hometown is, like the suburb I've grown up in my whole life, as much as I love it here, and really in the last, funnily enough, since I've been planning to move, that year and a half, I've really started to appreciate it so much more. You know, as much as I love this place, I'm not going to stay in a little suburb in southeast Queensland, in Brisbane, for my whole life. And I think if the best way to do that for me is right out the gate to move and get out into the world. So that's one big reason. Second big reason, wait, how long have I been yapping? 10 minutes? Okay. the second big reason, and to be honest, this is probably the main reason why specifically Spain, is because my girlfriend, she lives there now. She moved there from Colombia like a month or 2 months ago. So that relationship has been long distance for nearly 2 years now. Holy shit. And just a side note, that shit has been killing me recently, bro, I won't lie. So I got an extra level of motivation to get my ass over there. And I'm actually booking flights and making plans to go visit her. I can't say the date yet in case she watches this video, because it's gonna be a surprise. Soon though, very soon. So that's really cool. What am I talking about? Moving to Spain. Oh yeah, having a big vision, a big direction. So that's kind of like my big main, that's been this season chapter of my life. That's what the mission has been, right? But I really feel like, again, that's very centered on this kind of more, don't get me wrong, that's been a really cool and awesome and motivating and I think important and like pretty just solid sort of direction. But it's also been a little like, like personal growth and like relationships. And I guess honestly, I've just said the two most important things to me. That and like God, my faith. Trying to follow Jesus and, you know, build a relationship with God. Those are sort of the three most important things in my life, I guess. Growth, relationships, and God. But there's another aspect which is becoming increasingly important to me, which is sort of serving people. And for me, what that looks like and what I found a real passion in is kind of doing what I said before, is trying to uplift and inspire and help and bring together young men who want to become great. And not in a conventional way of, you know, fame or money or success or status, but just who want greatness. And that means something very different for different people, right? For me, what I see greatness as is, like, I guess my version of greatness is first of all being like really good at what I just said I wanted to pursue, which is, you know, helping young men and bringing people together and creating brotherhoods and communities. And so that's kind of a form of greatness that I want to be really good at. What do you mean I want to be really good at? That's a form of greatness which I'm pursuing. And the other big form of greatness is sort of in that realm of being a husband and a father. But for some people that will be, like, I have a mate who, he's just dedicated himself. He's like, bro, I want to save the fucking planet. And he's like Steve Irwin 2.0. And he's like trying to save like wild, like wilderness areas and animals and shit. And that's just like his massive passion in life. And I'm like, fuck, that's cool. Like the bro is literally trying to save the world. And save the planet. So that's sick, and that's like his form of greatness. I have other friends who really are just like athletes and they want to be, you know, great athletes. It's gonna look different for different people, right? But the point is, what is the point? I'm so distracted, bro. I feel like I'm on a roll and I'm spitting bars, but at the same time, it's like, man, I gotta get that shit like a little bit more streamlined. Okay, what am I saying? Big direction. Oh yeah, I started this video by saying passion is everything, right? And for that mission that started to emerge for me around, oh my God, this video has been way too long and I'm yapping in so many different directions, but just to give a bit of context to what I'm about to say, I actually don't know whether I'm gonna post this video to the main channel or to the second channel. I've not decided, but I have 2 YouTube channels, one of which is very new. It's like 6 months old and it's just like, usually videos like this where I just kind of yap about my thoughts and what's in my head. And then like my main channel, which has been around for about 2 years, and that's got about like 5k subs or 5.5k subs or something. And that's like the mission there has kind of been like capturing that audience of young men who really went down like the self-improvement sort of rabbit hole, but realized that's like there's more to all of this than that, and want to pursue like real growth and yeah, pursue greatness, in a way that they define, by their own definition is probably a better way to say that. And then about a year ago, when I saw a lot of very like-minded young men in that community, like watching those videos and engaging with those videos and really relating and resonating with the stuff, I was like, shit, I'm gonna open up an online community to try to bring some of those young men together and give them a brotherhood to, you know, really like push it even further and really pursue growth and all that, together, and have, you know, people around them who are like-minded and similar. And so I started that, and in total, I think about 11 people have joined, and right now there's 7 in there. But the lads who, like the first couple of guys who ever joined the community are all still in there. And those lads have some crazy potential. But I realized that community has gotten so far away from what it was originally supposed to be, and where the sort of the passion was in the first place. And I really fucking lost that passion. I lost that direction, bro. Of like, I want to bring these young men together and create just a platform and a space where we can connect and just grow together. Like, I've really lost that. And I just got it back. It didn't happen overnight. It's been a growing sort of like realization / sort of calling / reality check. And yeah, today something just clicked in my head, and I was like, fuck, this is what I'm doing. So I've made that community free. It used to be $20 a month. Because, you know, it was partly like an entrepreneurial endeavor, and I was like, oh cool, I can, you know, this can be my first business and stuff. But I've realized, bro, I cannot conflate those two things yet. Like, one day when there's 200 people in that community, and it's like, it's genuinely like a vibrant, full, incredible place, which is so valuable, and literally no one's gonna give a shit when I'm like, oh yo, like, it's gonna be like $2 a week or $5 a week or whatever it is. Like, when I get to the point where people say to me like, oh bro, I'm gonna pay you because this is like literally crazy that this is free. Like, at that point, sure, maybe and it's not gonna become a business. It'll stay true to what it's supposed to be. But yeah, I'll just add like a weekly or a monthly sort of subscription to it. Particularly if we start getting like too many people join, to the point where it's like a little chaotic and hard to, you know. But that's a separate thing. That's like way down the line, but I've made it free. And I just want to get as many young men in there as fucking possible. As many dudes who are just like on this path and want a brotherhood around them. Not just a little online community, a brotherhood. That's what I'm trying to build. Standards in there, like where we hold each other to genuinely a high level. And it's like, if a dude, you know, say we get to a point by the end of this year. So my goal by the end of the year, I haven't fully locked this in, but I think I want 50 members by the end of the year, minimum. So it's the point where maybe one of the dudes in there is a content creator and like starting to make videos himself. He shares a video he just made. Say there's 50 members, and immediately 50 people go watch that video, or at least just go check it out, like it and leave a comment on it within the first 24 hours it's up. That gives it a like fucking huge boost. That dude's content starts doing really well, like, bro. Or, you know, some guy has like a fucking, I don't know, like a mowing business in the community or something that he's trying to start, and he puts a link in the community to like a Facebook post he made, or like an Instagram post he made, you know, targeted at people in his local area, and all the boys just go like it, share it, comment on it, and it just boosts it. Now, that dude potentially just made $1,000 worth of clients off of just the boys just like lifting him up. And this dude, it's like this culture where now this dude is like super engaged with everybody else, and it's not transactional. It's not like, oh, I'll do this so you can help me. It's just literally that we cultivate a group of guys who give a shit about each other and give a shit about their lives and give a shit about where they're trying to go and what their direction is and what their passion is, and are just going all in, are being held accountable, are being inspired, uplifted, you know, have a place to be open and vulnerable and share shit that's really going on in their head or going on in their lives. Or they go through a breakup and they have like fucking like, they've found, you know, maybe there's 50 or 100 members in there, but they've found like 3 or 4 guys, and it's like a little subgroup in there that they just really connect and resonate with each other. And these 3 or 4 guys help him through like the hardest moment of his life, or, you know, just like a really hard emotional experience. Real brotherhood, bro. I don't know if you can tell, like, I've just gotten way more fired up talking about this, because that's what I'm saying when I open this video and I say passion is the most important thing. It is. Because that passion that I have is what got my ass up when I was 13, and I kind of was like fucking depressed and super insecure and pretty anxious, and I just played video games all the time, and I didn't like myself, and I didn't like my life, and I didn't have friends, and I thought I would never get a girlfriend. Bro, it was the passion to be like, fuck man, I want to do something different. And then the way that compounded, like the amount of passion and sort of purpose that just like it filled my life and my soul when I got a group of friends at school where we all started going to the gym together, and soon enough it kind of built like a movement within my grade, within my school, of like young men who just support each other and had this sort of brotherhood, bro. Those are still all my boys to this day, right? And we're in our last year of high school now, and we're just killing it, and we're loving life, and we're there for each other, bro. And the fucking original motivation, and it's the very first post I ever made in that community was talking about this. The original motivation, the why I started that, is because I saw how powerful and incredible that was in my school community, and I said, fuck, bro, what if we had communities like this around the world? What if we had a place where young men from around the world could create a space like this? What if what I just saw happen and what I had a hand in building, what if that started happening globally? And that was a big dream, bro. That was ambition, and that has dwindled and fucking died because I've lost faith in it, because I started doubting myself, because I got distracted, because I started worrying too much about the business side of things. Fuck all that. I don't care. Like, that's not the reason I started it, and I'm not gonna say I got consumed in it in the sense that I just, all I cared about was money. I never really gave like a massive amount of fucks about like the money from it or whatever. It was always supposed to be like a passion project, and, you know, genuinely about bringing young men together, and it always was, and it always has been. But the pressure, that's a better way to say it, the fucking pressure of, fuck, but I need to make this work into like a career or something, because I got to move to Spain and I need the money for it, and I'm stressed and I've got all this pressure on me, you know, just made me sort of start going about it the wrong way, and that threw me off course, bro. But I'm back now, and I'm filled with passion, I'm filled with motivation and inspiration, and I want to share that. So passion is everything. Find what you're passionate about, pursue it, even if you don't see how it's going to work out, even if it doesn't look like you'll be able to pay the bills with it for right now. Like, if you're still in high school, you still got time. If you're still a young person, just like get a job on the side and let that fund your dream and fund your passion, because eventually you'll get like, you know, for me, my mindset right now, I'm talking to a different mentor today. He was like, bro, just become such a valuable person, become so good at delivering value to people, that money is just like a byproduct that happens, bro, and it's never anything you're gonna have to force or like really pursue like that. So that's where I'm at today, and I wanted to share that. Holy shit, that's a long yap session. That's 25 minutes. I hope I look back at this video in 6 months or a year or 2 years or 10 years and go, yeah, that was a turning point. because it feels like it is. It really does. And I'm so grateful for how much I've been blessed with all of this, and just where I'm at in life at the moment, and how good everything's going. And I'm grateful for all the challenges too, because that's really what's pushed me into this space now. Yeah, let's make some shit happen, boys. Good luck. God bless.